Live from Innovation Park on the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Monday, February 3rd. Tonight, we'll bring you breaking news about a former Nickelodeon star set to perform in State College next month, as well as what author and journalist Malcolm Gladwell had to say about the Joe Paterno statue during his visit to Penn State last week.
We also have more on a developing story of the deadly coronavirus strain, an update into President Trump's impeachment trial in the Senate, as well as your sports, entertainment, and weather.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Brannon DeWolf.
And I'm Brad Strawser.
This just into PSN News, former Nickelodeon star Drake Bell will be coming to State College next month. Bell of Drake and Josh and The Amanda Show fame will be performing at popular State College bar The First on Monday, March 16th at 10 p.m., as well as holding a meet and greet at Champs Downtown prior. He will be performing a 1-hour-long acoustic set. Tickets are $10 in advance and $20 the day of, only to those 21 and over, of course. A VIP package is available for $100, which includes a special meet and greet experience with Bell, an autograph, a selfie, and a ticket to the concert. Tickets can be purchased online.
Downtown State College is about to get a little bit more sweet and salty later this month. A combination storefront that will feature Auntie Anne's pretzels, Carvel ice cream, and Cinnabon cinnamon buns has been under construction since December. The new location has no official grand opening date set yet, but is expected to open sometime in the next few weeks. The store takes residence in the former home of Kiwi Yogurt that closed in early 2019, next to the student bookstore on East College Avenue.
Noted author and journalist Malcolm Gladwell's visit to Penn State is sparking discussion after he advocated for the return of former coach Joe Paterno's statue during his talk last Wednesday. The controversial statue was famously removed in 2012 following the Jerry Sandusky sex abuse scandal. Gladwell stated twice that Paterno's statue should be put back up again while defending many of the university administrators involved in the infamous cover-up case. Gladwell was met with applause from some members of the audience both times he mentioned the statue. Gladwell's talk came just a day after Jerry Sandusky's latest attempt to receive a shorter sentence was shot down in court.
Alpha Epsilon Pi is now allowed to participate in recruitment during zone days with certain restrictions. The Penn State fraternity was suspended on January 15th after 4 fraternity brothers were reported to have sexually assaulted a female student at the fraternity's house. The original suspension prevented Alpha Epsilon Pi from recruiting new members, new member activities, participating in university functions, and the ability to host social events. However, on January 24th, the Office of Student Conduct altered the suspension to accommodate for zone days. According to university spokeswoman Lisa Powers, the adjustment allows the fraternity to have, quote, recruitment activities, but with restrictions. Those restrictions include all recruitment events to be held on campus with officials from the Office of Fraternity and Sorority Compliance present, as well as an educational consultant from the fraternity's international headquarters. Investigations into the assault continue.
Stay tuned, because after the break, Tusha Pham will bring you the latest in entertainment news.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Tisha Pham with your entertainment update. Thon weekend is almost here, and as of today, we are 18 days away from one of Penn State's most anticipated weekends of the year. Known as the largest student-run philanthropy in the world, Thon works year-long to raise funds and awareness for the fight against childhood cancer for the Four Diamonds Foundation. The dance marathon will be held from Friday, February 21st, starting at 6 p.m., to Sunday, February 23rd at 4 p.m. That means 46 hours of no sitting or sleeping. There will be special performances, scheduled activities, and inspirational speakers throughout the event. You don't want to miss out. Come out to help cheer on the dancers and join us as we journey together to find a cure. If you love musicals, I got just the one for you. The Lucky Boy is coming to Penn State from Tuesday, February 18th to Saturday, February 22nd. The show will take place at the State Theater in the evenings at 7:30 p.m. General admission is $12.50, while students with a valid ID can buy a discounted ticket for $8.50. Written by award-winning writer Kristen Childs, the show brings alive an adaptation of the brothers' Grimm fairy tale, The Devil with the Three Golden Hairs. Reserve your seat before it's too late. The Oscars are right around the corner. The 92nd Academy Awards will air this Sunday, February 9th at 8 p.m. live on ABC. Get ready for a night filled with talent and phenomenal films. Following last year's ceremony, there will be no host. No need to fret, though. High-profile presenters will include Timothée Chalamet, Kristen Wiig, Rami Malek, and others. Stakes remain high as films fight for Best Motion Picture. Among them are Joker with the most nominations, Parasite, Little Woman, and more. And you didn't hear from me, but it has been confirmed that Billie Eilish will be singing the title track to the upcoming James Bond film called No Time to Die. Stay tuned for a performance that will go down in Hollywood history. That was your entertainment update. After the break, Kelly Warner will bring you the latest from the world of sports. Stay tuned. Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Kelly Warner with your sports update. Number 2 Penn State Wrestling dropped their second match of the season 19-17 to top-ranked Iowa on Friday night in Iowa City. This loss marks the first time Penn State has had 2 or more losses in a season since 2015 and their first Big Ten loss in nearly 5 years. The Nittany Lions didn't take long to bounce back after the loss, however, as they went on to roll Maryland 40-3 in a sold-out rec hall on Sunday. Penn State men's basketball keeps climbing, moving up to number 22 in this week's AP poll after a 76-64 win over Nebraska in Lincoln on Saturday. Miles Dredd led the way with 14 points, while Lamar Stevens and Myron Jones each added 13 of their own, bringing the Nittany Lions to their 4th consecutive win and their 6th conference win. The team travels to Michigan State for their next Big Ten matchup on Tuesday at 8. The world of sports continues to mourn the sudden and tragic loss of basketball legend Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter Gianna after a deadly helicopter crash last Sunday. PSN News field reporter Zach Gershman took a look at how the Penn State women's basketball team has paid tribute to the 5-time champion.
On Sunday, January 26th, the sports landscape as we knew it changed in unspeakable ways. NBA All-Star and Pennsylvania native Kobe Bryant, his 13-year-old daughter Gianna, and 7 others perished in a helicopter crash in Calabasas, California. The NBA fans all across the world are in shock and are still grieving with this devastating loss.
Prior to Thursday's game against the Iowa Hawkeyes, the Penn State Lady Lions held an emotional pregame ceremony commemorating the 9 lives in that helicopter crash. Many of the players had inspirational sayings written on their shoes from the Black Mamba. Kobe Bryant was a huge supporter of women's athletics, especially women's basketball. Following the women's 77-66 loss to number 18 Iowa, Coach Carolyn Keeger discussed Kobe's legacy and the Mamba mentality mindset.
Every single day we call it our pride time or our family time. And we spend 15 minutes every day just talking about stuff outside of basketball. And so since that happened, every single day it's been about Kobe. It's been about his mentality. It's been about what he's done for the game, what he's done for the women's game, and what he's meant to the sport, not only as a competitor, but as a person. And so obviously his legacy is going to live on, but what he's done for the game, what he's done as a competitor, not only for basketball, but for sport. He's in our players' lifetime, he's the fiercest competitor they've ever seen.
While the memory of this horrible accident is still fresh in our minds, it goes without saying that so many people were impacted, and we must remember all the victims and do our part to honor their memory.
Reporting from the Bryce Jordan Center for Penn State News, I'm Zach Gershman.
The Kansas City Chiefs are Super Bowl champions for the first time in 50 years. Kansas City was down 20-10 heading into the fourth quarter, but Patrick Mahomes worked his magic and threw 2 touchdown passes to take the lead. Damian Williams then finished it off with a 38-yard rushing touchdown, leading the Chiefs to a comeback victory over the San Francisco 49ers 31-20. Mahomes went on to be named MVP of the game, becoming the youngest player in NFL history to win both the league MVP award and a Super Bowl title. That was your sports update. After the break, Talia Shirello will bring you an exclusive interview with Eric Gaspich, who you may recognize as the mic man that gets the crowd hyped up for every Penn State football home game. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Talia Shirello. Tonight we have Eric Gaspich, who is Penn State's football's mic man. Eric, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So let's get started. How did you become mic man? Tell me the story.
So it's pretty interesting. I would say that the biggest factor that really brought me to the position that I'm in today is being good friends with the Nittany Lion. So my friend Zach, he's been the Nittany Lion for the past 3 years. And I positioned myself where I was just helping him at different events. And through doing that, I was able to get to know his coaching staff, who proceeded to ask me to try out to be the mic man. They saw the personality that I had, majorly caused by a traumatic brain injury. It makes me really open and outgoing, and it made me into the person that I am today, and a perfect fit for the position. So that's how I pretty much got the job.
That's awesome. Now walk me through the challenges of, getting to where you are today and participating as the mic man.
Yeah, so when I was 10, I had a severe traumatic brain injury. I lost the ability to read, write, do math, and just function as a normal kid. So I was inpatient at Johns Hopkins, the hospital in Baltimore, and I was there for a month, and then another month of outpatient rehabilitation, and came back to the school system, but really wasn't able to be back in classes until I'd say about 8th or 9th grade. So this happened in 5th grade, and I just had to relearn everything that I'd previously known since I was a kid, in order to bring me back to a level that other kids were at. So it changed the way that I had to grow up and the experiences that I had in my life.
Yeah, well, that's really admirable to see how far you've come. And so now, are you able to participate with the cheer team? Is that what your position is associated with?
Yeah, so the mic man is the head cheerleader pretty much. But the way that I fill the role is a little bit different, whereas I'm not really allowed to do the stunts and the kinds of things that put the cheerleaders at risk. So I just fulfill the position of mic man, where I'm on the microphone in front of the crowd, hyping everyone up, leading pep rallies and that kind of thing. But I don't really do the stunts. So I am a cheerleader, but I'm not able to do the stunts and risky things that they do.
Absolutely. Now, what's the commitment for the position?
Yeah, so I have a similar commitment to what the other cheerleaders have, except that I'm at a lot of home basketball games. I'm at all of the football games. I'm at the home and away games. And so I have to travel a little bit more than some of the other kids do. I still go to practice. I still lift weights and everything like everyone else does. But I end up not having to do some of the other games, such as like women's basketball or things like that, where other cheerleaders might have to. I focus on the sports where we really have a lot of fan interaction and crowd involvement.
Which are football and
basketball, and now hockey as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So now when you go to the football games, you go out in front of the crowd. Explain the atmosphere to me.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, I'm sure that you all have seen the atmosphere. It's one of the greatest experiences that I've ever had. And I would say that the position of being on the field, having it surround you, is just so much more intense than being in the stands. You couldn't even imagine how loud it gets. Those whiteout weekends, you're on the field, and by the end of it, everyone has a pounding migraine because they hear so much noise the whole entire time. It really gets to you. But I mean, it's the greatest atmosphere in all of college football. We've been to almost all of the Big Ten stadiums, my buddy Zach and I can tell you the greatest atmosphere by far is Beaver Stadium. So it's incredible, and I love being at the center of it. Even being able to control the crowd in a way, get them all going at once. It's pretty amazing. So
absolutely. Is there a different atmosphere between football games and basketball games? Do you like one better than the other?
Yeah, I mean, I love the atmosphere at all Penn State events. I love Penn State. Penn State's awesome. I think hockey was a lot of fun. We really got the crowd going over the weekend. Basketball can be fantastic when we get the Bryce Jordan Center filled and going. But football by far, it's got the most people. It's got the most energy. When the stadium fills up at the beginning of the game, it's just incredible. I mean, the whiteout, there's nothing that can compare to the whiteout. So yeah, I would say football is probably my favorite, but I've had a great experience at a lot of different Penn State events. Yeah.
And now, what has been the most rewarding part of this position?
I think that the most rewarding part is still yet to come. So I'm very excited for Thon. I'm so excited for Thon. So as the mic man, I haven't been able to do Thon yet. This will be my first year doing it. Wow. And Zach and I are actually independently dancing in Thon. So we're very excited for that. And we're still fundraising. So far, we've raised a lot of money, a lot of money. We're over $24,000 already, the two of us. So wow, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but we're doing very well, and we're not stopping. So I think that'll be very rewarding. But meeting the people so far has probably been the best part. Just being able to interact and show them that I'm a normal person and I love Penn State just like they do. It's pretty cool.
So it brings the whole community together.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
And so talk to me about your friendship with Zach, because now you're dancing in Thon. So it seems like you guys have been
Yeah, so we go back to freshman year. We've been good buddies. This kid, he just started eating out of a box of cereal, and I said, this is my kind of guy. Like, this is somebody that I want to be friends with. Somebody chugging some cereal. That's the kind of kid I like. And we just have fun. We don't need to do some of the things that other kids do. We just go out there. We meet people. We make friends. And here we are 3 years later. He's now the Nittany Lion. I'm the hype man for Penn State. It's just the way that our friendship has developed into just two extremely fun and outgoing people doing cool things is just awesome. So, and we get to do it all together. It's been great.
Yeah, I was going to say, you two definitely bring the energy to Penn State football games. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Eric.
You.
And coming up next, we'll have your latest weather report, so stay tuned.
From the students of Penn State Meteorology, here is your Penn State Campus Weather Service forecast.
Good evening, Central Pennsylvania. I'm student meteorologist Joe Spear here with your Monday evening forecast, mapping out what the rest of this week is going to look like. And it's going to be a wet one. We'll be dealing with a lot of mixed precipitation throughout the rest of this week and a little bit of cooling as we head to the middle parts, but something to look forward to will be a dry but an otherwise drab weekend. We're going to map out when the precipitation is going to be here in Pennsylvania, specifically here in Centre County, right at Tuesday morning around rush hour. State College seems to be right in between two pockets of rain over towards Pittsburgh, right here in central Pennsylvania as well, down around Harrisburg. But throughout the day, this is where we're going to see a chance of rain. Throughout much of Tuesday, we'll be dealing with that. About a day later, we're going to see some more wintry precipitation moving in. Here we see State College is right on the border of some mixed precipitation coming down from Pittsburgh, cutting up through State College, and all the way up through Scranton. The diagonal line across the state being a barrier between rain and snow. That's going to move out as well throughout the rest of Wednesday. Thursday, we're on repeat once again. Two little pockets of rain down here in Pittsburgh and over here towards Philadelphia. The big cities of the state are going to be dealing with rain, but otherwise the rest of the state is going to be dealing with some mixed precipitation, similar to what State College was seeing yesterday. A little pocket of snow up towards Erie, Pennsylvania for Thursday. For Friday, we're also going to be dealing with the same weather, stuck on repeat. The eastern tier of the state is going to be dealing with rain. And as you see, this little sliver of mixed precipitation is going to be the border coming out from New York, right into State College and down into Maryland and West Virginia. But otherwise, the western tier of the state is going to be dealing with snow. That's going to move out, and we're going to be dealing with a little bit of snow left over Friday night. That's going to be mainly up in the northern tier above I-80 and over towards the western tier of the state as well. Just a little blanketing, not much to accumulate anything. But that's going to move out through Friday, and here's what we could look forward to this weekend. No precipitation in sight here on Saturday, but otherwise just a little bit of clouds. So for tonight, Monday evening, we'll be dealing with a low of 38 degrees. Late night showers in anticipation of the weather for Tuesday, but an otherwise cloudy night, winds out of the south being relatively light. For tomorrow, we could see temperatures get up to 50 degrees. It's going to be a higher average this time of year, and it's going to be a warm but wet day, a chance of rain pretty much all day and continuing into the night. Now here's how the rest of your 7-day forecast lines out to be. We see right out of the gate on Tuesday, we're dealing with the highest temperature in the 7-day forecast, and we drop 15 degrees in one day down to Wednesday. That's when we're going to start to see our mixed precipitation come into play on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, a total of 3 days. We're just stuck on repeat at this point. Saturday is something we could look forward to. It's going to be a little bit cooler at 33 degrees, but we could see some drier weather, but otherwise mostly cloudy conditions. Sunday, staying true to its name, we're going to see a little bit more sunshine, continuing to warm up a little bit, 35 degrees. Monday, the start of next week, continuing to warm up to 42 degrees, but we're back into the pattern of some rain and snow. For the Penn State Campus Weather Service, I'm Joe Spear, and enjoy the rest of your week.
President Donald Trump is one step closer to what may be a surefire acquittal in his impeachment case. The Senate rejected a motion Friday to allow consideration of more witnesses and documents, laying the foundation for an acquittal of the president and a speedy conclusion to his trial. The Democrats lost the vote for more witnesses 49-51. They needed 4 Republican senators to cross party lines and vote for more witnesses. However, only 2 did when the vote hit the floor. Senators Mitt Romney of Utah and Susan Collins of Maine stood alone as the only Republicans voting in favor of the motion. With his impeachment trial potentially all but over, President Trump can now set his sights on the upcoming general election in November.
A worldwide public health emergency has been declared in the United States in regards to the new Wuhan coronavirus strain. All passengers on flights to the U.S. who have been to the Chinese province of Hubei or Wuhan since January 17th will be subject to a 14-day quarantine. Any U.S. citizens who has been to the rest of China's mainland will be actively screened at one of 7 different airports for potential risks or symptoms of the new coronavirus. The Trump administration announced that it will not allow any non-citizen that does not have direct family in the U.S. who has been in China recently to enter the United States. The last time the CDC issued a quarantine was for the smallpox strain back in 1960.
The University of Missouri is testing new ways to track student attendance and boost classroom performance. The school is expanding its use of tracking technology to better detect students who may be struggling. The school is connecting to student cell phones through the app Spotter EDU, which uses Bluetooth technology and classroom beacons to non-invasively gauge attendance. So far, the project is opt-in only, meaning Missouri students must volunteer and give consent in order to be tracked. Administrators say nobody will be forced to participate and that the goal is to help those struggling to manage what can become an overwhelming college life. The new measures have raised questions of privacy, with many wondering exactly what information will be tracked. University officials are maintaining that the tech can and will only measure attendance levels and that no other data will be transmitted or collected.
The NBA and the rest of the world continues to mourn the passing of basketball legend Kobe Bryant. Bryant and his daughter Gianna, along with 7 others, passed in a helicopter crash 30 miles northwest of Los Angeles on Sunday, January 26th. Many have paid tribute to the passing of Kobe and his daughter Gianna in the NBA, such as LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and former Lakers teammate Shaquille O'Neal. Others who have honored the former NBA star and Emmy winner include Brazilian soccer star Neymar, pro tennis player Nick Kyrgios, and retired NFL quarterback Peyton Manning. Others included in the crash were John and Carrie Altobelli, their daughter Alyssa Altobelli, Christina Mauser, Sarah Chester, Peyton Chester, and pilot Era Zobayan. PSN News sends the Bryants and all other families involved our thoughts and hopes for healing.
And that's all for tonight on PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News and on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Have a good night, Penn State.